One live. What's up, Star Wars fans? As you can see, we got Ramrod, Ben Kenobi, and Tusken TV, Power of the Dark Side. And first of all, we're going to start off with that prop you got right behind you. What's going on with that prop, Tusk?
Oh, I'm here. I'm back.
You got.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you got.
That's Jerry. Something. That's Jerry the Jawa, man. He's dressed up like Jason right now. So he's got his Jason mask on.
I love that.
Close enough.
Art genres.
Right. Let's see. Let's welcome in who we got going on here. What's up, Dare2727? I know he's a big Star Wars guy. Dare, have you got caught up on the episode yet? And we got McDJ, ACDC kicking. So everybody in the chat, are y'all caught up? And before we go any more, for everybody's watching now and later, there will be spoilers. We're going to go over the episode. So if you don't want to be spoiled, get out, because we're going to do that. So first and foremost, seeing how Tusk wasn't with us on the last time, and we're going to catch up real quick. So far, how you feeling about 1 and 2?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to leave it at that.
Pretty good.
We'll do a quick recap. Here's what I thought about it. I thought it was slow. Other than that, second episode kind of picked up, but the whole stuff with Leia kind of bored me a little bit, but I know it's important to the story. So
is it though?
Yeah. Well, I think they always start out slow. You gotta have a little bit of build up.
Okay. Yeah. All right, man. We'll catch you later because you don't want us to talk about it because you'll be spoiled. But anyway, so we'll discuss what did you guys think about this episode? Because we kind of start out with Obi-Wan and Leia traveling to the rendezvous point as discussed in episode 1. Anything interesting you guys thought there? I didn't get a lot from that.
Well, other than Obi-Wan losing his temper with Leia, not a lot there except just, character building, I guess, for Leia. And also seeing, Obi-Wan, he's still, like basically lost sheep, lost his faith, and he's just trying to get by.
Right. What'd you think, Tusk?
Hold on. I keep turning off my mic. I thought it was all right. It's just there's a whole lot of things I can talk about. And it's mostly about editing, the way it was edited. There's so much things that they could have done to actually make that storyline more interesting and the script work with what they were trying to do. But that's a whole nother thing.
Oh, dude, hey, whatever's on your mind, we'll do it all. Don't hold back. So, on the beginning, what'd you think, Ben?
I thought it was interesting how the planet looked like New Mexico. It looked just like New Mexico. And yeah, I know what he means, like by the editing and stuff like that. It's not just the editing, but I feel like the cinematography makes it go by slower because you can have a slow movie, but you have good cinematography. So like Dune or Blade Runner or any of that stuff, like it's not very fast paced and it's very slow. And you're like, okay, well, at least it's cool looking. Like this, I feel like they got the camera guys from Power Rangers and they're just going in there and just filming them. And they're not really, being.
There's no direction of where to point the camera and how to capture what they're trying to achieve.
No, yeah, they're just kind of following the characters. There's no like big epic shot. I mean, there's a kind of a few like when the ship's coming in and landing and stuff like that. But other than that, they're like, oh, there's something off in the distance. They zoom into that. It shows that, and then it goes back to the characters and like they don't really play. It's very straightforward.
Yeah,
it's very straightforward.
It's like they went out, one day and shot some footage in a pasture somewhere.
Yeah, it's almost like
like stand about 100 yards. We're going to use the zoom lens on you for a second, and let's make this look interesting. And we'll add some like CGI things in the background, sprinkle it in.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just kind of plain. And then Obi-Wan was mentioning like how whenever they first get to the planet, he was like, "This used to be villages," and like all this stuff. They must have cleaned that place pretty good because there looked like there had been nothing there. There was nothing, absolute, like at least nothing for 200 years. That's the Empire is pretty good at cleaning stuff up. So
Yeah, they think that planet's called Mapuzo, I think is what they said that planet is. And yeah, the Empire has bled that drive all of its resources. Well, for the most part, at least in that area. But that's what they do, so they can power up their devices. Aren't we working toward the Death Star? You know.
yeah,
Yeah, they're talking about what they've done, but apparently they're not really the filmography. They're not showing it as well as they could have been.
Mapuzo, New Mexico, as Ben says.
that's right. It is New Mexico. They're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you can now officially say that screws and nails are canon now because, like, if you notice in some of the props, you can see like the screw head sticking out. Like, if you really look at it, like, stop, you could see like where they had it was. You can tell it's plywood, and they just drilled into it, and they just kind of like hurried up, and it looks. Some of that stuff is awful. I mean, they try to like, divert your eyes for a second, but if you really pay attention to some of the stuff, you're like, man, that looks cheesy, like for real.
Which
Hey,
I mean,
by the way, I was going to tell you, Pac. Right now, I'm listening to. I always tell everybody what I'm listening to. I am listening to Galaxy Empire. So, Pac, if you've never heard Galaxy Empire, you need to drop them a listen. Have you guys listened to Galaxy Empire? They do
no.
full metal versions of all the songs, like all of them.
So,
Yeah.
did they have somewhere you can find them? All their stuff.
Oh yeah,
or-
just get on Spotify. Spotify,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, we have a good question. I was going to touch on this anyway. So Dare2727 brings up right now. Says, I have a question. Does it bother you guys that Leia and Obi-Wan have so much interaction? It seems to go against New Hope. And yes, unless they're going to flesh something out, because I remember in A New Hope, Leia didn't know Obi-Wan, just said that her father served for him in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, there
So-
better be a lot of mind wipes or something going on in the last 2 episodes.
Well, I mean, in episode 4, it was vague. She just gave a description of Obi-Wan and her father, serving together in the Clone Wars, but I thought it left a little bit of room for some interaction to excuse some interaction. I think we're going to get to the point where we're going to be talking about the Vader versus Obi-Wan, and if that's canon breaking, but depending on how far they go with this series and how much more interaction they have with Leia, I could live with the interaction they had so far.
Right.
You
and
hit it
with-
right there, yeah.
And with
Yeah,
that
you saw
being
it.
said, Red
Yeah.
Room Diecast says, hi, I watched the first episode. I'm done. No more Disney Star Wars. So we do know there's a lot of people out there who do not
And
like.
then Dara was also agreeing with what you're saying before. Well, I think he was. I don't know if he agreed with me or with you. I said about the mind wipe, but then you were talking about like how the story carried along.
Right. I think he was talking about just the fact that there seems to be continuity and plot holes. There's a couple of them. I think there was another one in here with Yoda speaking. Oh, what was that? There's another one with Yoda. I think it was Yoda referencing or talking to Obi-Wan when he was a spirit force in one of the last ones. I can't remember. It slipped my mind right now, but I think after the first part, we go to Vader being on Mustafar. Is that how you actually say that?
Mustafar? Is it Mustafar?
Yeah, I think it's Mustafar.
Mustafar, yeah.
Mustafar. Yeah. And so that seems to be where he's residing. Does he reside there the whole time? And does he still reside there later on? Do you guys know? Or is that just kind of.
He resides there a lot, actually. There's a whole
He was
storyline
there
behind it. Yeah.
in Rogue One.
Yeah. So he kind of resides there off and on all the way through it. And there's a whole series of like horror type comic type line that they have for Vader's Is it his castle? Is what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vader's
So there's like a whole genre of like horror stories about Vader's castle and his time there.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of cool, which is what they need to do. Because I mean, that's one thing. Some people hate it, some people don't. But Bub, he hated how you had the intro of Darth Vader in the third episode. But I like that it showed him like walking down and doing some of the things he did. I don't know if we're gonna get into that stuff just yet, but I actually kind of thought it was cool. I wish it would show more of that. Guess it's just kind of like building up to that. Probably right now you're kind of seeing small bits and pieces. I do like that part of the aspect, but there are so many awful dialogue issues that I have, and one of them's with the third sister. Like just her delivery. I'm sorry, man. It's just awful. Like some of the delivery is just awful, and I'm just like, man, can they not do like 2 or 3 more takes of this? Was that the best take we really got out of this actress? Do you know what I mean? I was like, man, some of it's rough.
Yeah.
And even McGregor, even Obi-Wan, when he comes to deliver some of his lines, it's not really the way he's saying it or the way he's doing it. It's the way they edit it. They put so much air in between some of the spots that could have been sucked up in editing. It just like, man, just sucks you out of the scene. It does for me. It reminds me how George Lucas did with the episode 1 where he left too much air in between each. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's like Jar Jar Binks when they're talking inside of with Anakin and I believe Obi-Wan is there too. But there's like this dialogue inside the hut and they're talking and there's so much dead air in it and just like ruins the moment a lot of times. And that's what I feel like with a lot of the episode 1 and 2. It's been like that. The third one got better, but it seems like, I don't know, it's almost like they put it in there on purpose to make it last longer on purpose because they did not have enough to fill the spots almost. That's what I feel like. It feels like that to me. Because if you go and watch some of the other shows they've done with Marvel, with like Hawkeye, the dialogue's like fantastic. It goes boom, 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 boom. It's kind of a little bit too fast at some points. But here it just kind of, you just get that drag. It's just a long drag sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you could have. I mean, do you guys learn or maybe they're going for that. Maybe they're like, hey, let's make it like episode 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? I don't know where they're coming from. You know what I mean? It's like, is this intentional? It's like, are they? You know?
I think they give Star Wars the slide because, again, like whenever you comment on the acting in Star Wars, people are like, well, it's not about acting, it's about ships and aliens. And, like, okay, well, that's true somewhat. But I feel like they give it a pass in these kind of shows. That's exactly right. Like, I know what you mean. Like, it's like they took the first take with the third sister. And, like, you can see her, like, sing her lines. And, like, that's okay if she says the lines badly, but, like, expresses how she feels about it through her face. But she kind of, like, says her lines, and then she just, like, stands there.
Yeah, right. or says her lines and then does the expression at the end of the. You know what I mean? It's not like
we had talked about that on the first episode. In fact, Ramrod had brought it up. Ramrod, do you think that it's gotten any better in your opinion as well with the Reva acting?
Maybe, but then again, it might be because she had less scenes. I don't know. Because, like I said, it was. I don't have anything personal against her, but. It just seems like her delivery is a little bit off. Either her delivery or her direction was a little bit off. And like you were saying, is that the only take that they took? Is that the best one? Could they have tried it a few more times? Maybe smoothed it out a little bit? Because I think that's what it needed, was just to be, have a smoother delivery and a little bit more emote.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me is she's supposed to be intimidating, and then she just comes off as like just a bully, not like intimidating. You know what I mean? She should be like intimidating, like this is how we're gonna handle it. But it doesn't come off that way. It comes off like, hey, I'm peer pressured. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm gonna get it done type attitude. I don't get that from the acting. I know that's what they're trying to, inflict on the storyline, but it just doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. There's a lot of people thinking that we're like, everybody has an opinion. We don't mind everybody saying if they like it or they don't like it. So like Red Room Diecast says, sorry, I don't mean to rant so much. Hey, if everything's done respectfully, all opinions are welcome, man. And you're good, man. 100%. there's just a lot of people who are noticing that the acting is off. And we talked about this the first time, that, you know, a lot of agendas are say it's woke, say it's whatever. We're not talking about any of that stuff. And I don't worry about any of that stuff. I watch something. If your character works within the story, whatever sex you are, it doesn't matter. If you work in a story, you work in a story. But if something's forced in, you can definitely tell it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you know what's funny? You say that. It's like somebody. I was like it's Facebook, of course. I was on Facebook, and it's like some of my friends, and they were talking about. Of course, those 501st people. I'm part of the 501st, by the way. If a lot of people don't know. So I have like large props here. Well, Jerry's got the Jason mask on, but I have a Tusken Raider. Do a full Tusken Raider, and so there's a lot of people that are have deep roots in the Star Wars. I do. I love Star Wars. I love the whole stories about the Tuskens and the Sand People, or the Tusken Raiders. I love that whole storyline. But I think a lot of people, I think Red Room even brought up, it's like you have 40 years of characters, 40 years of stories and all this stuff. It doesn't matter. So some people, like, they automatically assume, okay, you don't like the show because can you be a real fan and not like the show? I'm like, I love Star Wars. I even like The Last Jedi. Like, I like all the movies, even though they've ruined some things in the movies.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know what I mean? I like them. Like, for as entertainment wise, I like them. Now, do they have problems in some of them? Yes, they do. But if it's a new character, if they're trying to do something with a new storyline, they're really having a hard time bringing me in. And I like The Last Jedi. Let's just say that. Like, I like that movie, and there's stuff that I hated about it, but there's stuff I liked about it. There's stuff I liked about The Force Awakens that other people hated, you know. But I still, even with all those problems, I still have a hard time liking the story. And some people are like, well, maybe you just have too much invested into it. It's like, no, that's not it. It just doesn't connect. There's like no, you know what I mean?
Whether I love Star Wars too, whether I like it or not, even if it's the thing that I don't like, at least I had an opportunity to get a new story. Because if you just want to say everything's bad and kill it, then you're never going to get anything new. Some will be good, some will be bad. I'll roll the dice. You know what I mean? At least put something out, and I have the option to like it. You know what I mean? And I have to ask right now, Tusk, is that motherfucker alive behind you right now?
He's just moving because I'm hitting him right there. He's got
like,
he's got an arm. He's got like a hand right there. So he's got a hand. So
You're gonna see a Beskar machete come up behind you.
but like my lizard man, he'll move every once in a while. He's got a little remote for him. He'll, like, his mouth will move and his.
Nice, salacious, dude. That's awesome.
I think right here, Dare2727 says the problem is Ewan McGregor is just that much better than the rest of the crew.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
Somewhat, but
Bam.
even some of his stuff is some of his dialogue is.
But he's
wanky.
been told to do that. You know he knows how to act. So,
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's necessarily the actors. I don't think it's their acting. I don't really think it's some of their dialogue. It's the way their dialogue was edited into the actual air.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in the first story. We didn't know if Ramrod had said, we don't know if that's their inability or her inability, or if the way they want her to be. So, agreed. So we'll go on to something else here and let you guys handle this while I get caught up in chat. But it says, I think with the condition Vader is in and the way his suit is constructed, does it mean that the Emperor wants Vader to be in pain to control him, or to use it to keep him under his thumb? Because if you watch how the suit is, obviously he doesn't have any basically arms. I mean, he's got arms, but he don't have like forearms down. And when you watch that suit, that whole middle section has those long piercing rods, dude. I mean, it's just go right in. You know what I mean? So that he's in constant pain. So even when he wears a suit, it seems to be he's still being put in pain. Do you guys feel the same way on that? Go ahead, Ramrod. You go first.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of, and I don't know if it's all fan fiction or if there's some, canon to it, but have heard a lot where the Emperor wants him to be, they could have done a lot better, could have made him a lot better, life support suit, but didn't, and wanted him to be in pain. And I think Vader also wants to be in pain because that gives him more of a link to the dark side.
Yeah, I think it's intentional. Like he intentionally does it. He's
Who?
a sadomac.
Who intentionally does the Emperor?
Vader.
Vader does.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gets him more in tune with the dark side. Constant pain.
Okay. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh yeah, I figured that as well. Yeah. Because I
Okay.
mean, they definitely could fix him up because Luke gets his hand chopped off, and he never mentions like being in. Again, that's not his whole entire body, not burned
Right.
to a crisp. But knowing Star Wars technology and everything we've seen, and Boba Fett recovered pretty well. Like I think they could have done like a better job. But you're probably right. Makes them more powerful by being angry all the time.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, though. So it could be. Do you guys think it's Vader's decision, not the Emperor?
I think yours is both. I think
Yeah.
the Emperor probably wanted to pay him, punish him for his failures, and then also Vader, leaned into it as a means to increase his anger and connection to the dark side.
Right.
Look at the Emperor himself, man. He looks like a pale burnt hot dog himself.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Red Room Diecast says, "For me to kill the Grand Inquisitor makes no sense. Kills Rebels canon. I can only assume he'll be back in later episodes." Well, they did cover that in a comic, and we talked about that in the first episode. He's died before and came back, so he'll be back according to the previous canon set. Is what I'm thinking, but
I hope they remember that because you gotta keep in mind we know it, but the people making Star Wars seem to be like they just walked into this on like day one and they're like, "Oh, we're making Star Wars."
Yeah, they'll forget about it.
Yeah.
Kill off a primary
Red
character.
Room said that Vader's only been in the suit for a short time. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that I think he would have, if he was going to change it, he would have changed it within that time.
right. I do. I do believe it. Yeah, it's not a short time. And now I have a question: is there a whole bunch of dialogue that shows what Vader has been doing in these 10 years, or has he been doing nothing?
Just conquering planets, I think. I don't know.
Is
Getting people under his thumb.
Is there media that covers this?
I'm sure there are in comic books and
I think the Marvel comic books,
novels.
Yeah, Marvel comic books. Yeah.
Okay.
The Vader's Castle is one of them. That's the story I was talking about. Was like the whole horror type thing. Kind of explains what he's doing.
Okay, got you. So the next part is Reva. What do you think her intentions are, other than to I mean, there's more than just trying to suck up. What do you think her intentions are? Go ahead, Ramrod.
Well, it sounds like she wants to be Grand Inquisitor, or at least that's what Vader is offering to her if she succeeds in bringing him Obi-Wan. Now, whether that's her end goal or if that's a means to an end, I'm not sure yet. I'm still curious as to what her motivation is. What is her end game? So I'm hoping to see that by the end of this season.
Do you have any guesses at what you think her end game might be? Is basically what I mean.
I'm wondering if she resents Jedi for not saving them, because I mean she was one of the younglings that escaped. I think it was pointed out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's just angry because the Jedi failed, and then it probably led to her and others being captured and tortured into servitude of where she is now. So there might be that, or it might be something else. I don't know if it's something more personal than that or what. I'm wanting to find out.
What do you think? What do you think, Ben?
I don't know. At first, I was kind of thinking there was a plot twist where maybe she's trying to get close to Vader and take his spot. As the Emperor.
I've been thinking that and wondering it myself. Go ahead.
I was like, that's too good of a plot twist. And I think they've pretty much laid it out in front of us how it's going to be. She wants to be Grand Inquisitor, and she used to be one of the younglings and wants to get revenge. And, obviously knows who probably Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker is, obviously, because she's brought him up. So I think it's probably as simple as that. I mean, I wouldn't hope so, because like we pretty much guessed how things were going to go after the first episode, but
Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
I'm gonna be the wild card here.
Hey,
I'm gonna say
before you do that, can you answer? You go ahead and answer Dara's question, Tusk. What do you think?
which one? What
Would you say she succeeded in bringing Obi-Wan to Vader?
I don't know.
I'm going to say no, but go ahead with your
All right.
point.
So you guys are talking about like what you thought was gonna. Here's what I'm thinking, because I know Disney all too well, because I'm also a big Disney fan. What I think they're gonna do is they're gonna have her turn good, and she's gonna let Obi-Wan and Leia go free. At the
You
end
heard
of
it here. Okay. So
And I think Vader would kill her off.
oh yeah, I think it
That's
ends,
what I think is gonna happen.
I think it ends either way in Vader killing her. You know?
Yeah, but I think she's gonna turn good. She's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm still good. Let's go ahead and play this up for Disney folks." She's gonna let him go. I mean,
Wait a minute.
it's playing out.
I think that they're going to have like a big confrontation by the end of the series.
I think so, and then she'll like
She's
help
angry.
him.
She's
Yeah.
angry at him in particular for not rescuing them, and then it's gonna come out that why he didn't, why he went
Yeah.
into hiding to hide Vader's children, Skywalker's children, and then she has a change of heart and lets them go and sacrifices herself to keep the secret.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we both know the end game is this right here. Basically, I'm she's only going to get as far as Vader's going to let her go. So
pretty much, yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Vader controls.
But Vader can't even tell where Obi-Wan is at, so I don't even know.
I don't know. I refuse.
I don't know. He can't. He's like, what? Where's he at? I can't even feel him. I'm walking down this hallway here, and I don't even know where he's at. Oh wait, there he is. Come on now.
I'm feeling. Oh man, let's see. Let me get caught in chat. We'll go on with the episode. Could he be trying to get her to the Emperor?
So, what do you guys think of? Like, I know we're going to get there, but the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader, is that canon breaking or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Answer. Yeah, let's answer the question, and we'll get there right then because that's. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. So next we head to the planet of Mapuzo, or as Ben likes to call it, New Mexico.
What's the name of that planet?
Mapuzo.
How do you spell that? Do you have it like
M-A-
in front of you?
Yeah, Mapuzo.
Mapuzo.
Yeah.
Mapuzo, New Mexico.
There's no Googling on my show, Ben.
It looks like they filmed it. They're at a flea market down in Albuquerque, and they said, "Hey, everybody, clear out. We got to shoot this scene real quick."
I think they discussed which planet this was on in a comic. I do believe is what I remember reading.
Okay. I was kind of curious if it ever showed up in like Clone Wars or any of that stuff, because whenever they brought it up, I was like, oh, maybe, but I don't.
I think it was one of those. That did.
Was
They
it?
did it. Yeah. Yeah. So we already talked about Leia. Do we want to talk about we don't want to talk about the continuity errors with Leia anymore. We already covered that, right? Okay. Now, while Obi-Wan and Leia are trying to get to the rendezvous point with who we'll get to later, we kind of find out while they're riding along with what's his name, Freck, that Obi-Wan talks about his family. We find out that he has a brother.
Good old Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Was that really Seth?
Oh yeah, it's obviously Seth Rogen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
I don't know. Some of the choices, bro. What's up? What's up, Big Stan? Big Stan's here.
What's up, Big Stan?
What's going on? That's right. The Force is strong right here, bro. But what do you guys think about Freck? I haven't seen him before. Has he been in any other canon? To me, he's new.
No.
Not that I know of.
No.
Okay.
His character design was really cool too. I thought, I mean, it was earthly, but it was also alien type. So, yeah, Dare 2727 said Freck is the most interesting character. I'm at the agree on that one. The animatronics on his face, they were freaking phenomenal. I'll say that. They're really cool.
Right. Oh, shout out. What's up, Animal Mother Customs? Good to see you, bro. Other than that, I mean, we didn't know he had a brother before that, and he kind of talks about not being taken. He wasn't taken when he went to go train as a Jedi, leaving his mother. But do you think that's to bring something up like that? Do you think you need to flesh it out? To me, it's like maybe we just kind of touch on that, but there ain't time for that. So why even fucking bring it up?
Well, just an interesting little tidbit here and there. I like that in shows when they, make you wonder, what else is going on. So, I mean, I appreciated it.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of just brought that in to keep the storyline open. So, like, if you wanted to do, like, say, if you wanted to do, like, flashbacks or you wanted to do a different storyline with Obi-Wan, you could obviously do something else. You can do a Jedi training, whole series about it if you wanted to, or, how he was found. You could do a lot of things with it. So, it's cool that they brought that information into the story, and it kind of gives you a little open door, a little open window into, like, what else could be, and then all the theories start changing. They bring that in too. So like people are like, oh, well, maybe they'll bring in his brother will appear in, you know what I mean? They'll add that little tidbits of information. So they might use it in the storyline, or someone might think, well, in the community, they're like, well, what if this happens or this happens? So, I mean, it's all good though. It really is. It's cool that they brought it in.
All right. Later, Dare2727. He's out of here, bro. Good seeing you. And then we see, it's basically a trap. It's a trap. It's an ambush, but the Imperial name I got my notes right here, because once the camera goes on, boop, the mind goes out the window.
I'm actually watching it right now. I went ahead and restart. I'm watching it right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
What minute mark are you at?
3.
3.
I was watching the first 2, and I had this on while I was like cleaning up.
Are you still listening to music? And watching TV and eating and doing the show?
I do it all, brother.
Bro, this guy. this guy, bro. So we come to find out that the person they're to rendezvous with is the Imperial named Tala. She saves them. I thought what was cool when the stormtrooper fell and got split in half. I was like, that was fucking cool.
Okay, but let's talk about something real fast right here, right now. Couldn't he just walk around the fence? What was the whole point of that thing?
I mean, that kind of like, why did you bother?
Hey, why can't they hit the broadside of a barn, bro? Okay, so they just dumb.
No, I'm just saying, Obi-Wan, he didn't need to take out the blaster and shoot the thing. He could easily, I'm going to walk around the top of this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Around.
You know what I mean? It was like it's like some things like that kind of bothers me, because it's just filler just to throw it in there. Like, let's make this part look cool. And then you throw it in there like, that part was really stupid.
It's like somebody was supposed to CG in some
something like a grid around it or something else on the sides. It just did not make sense at all.
It's like that scene from Blazing Saddles where they were going through the toll booth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it's like. Man, come on, you guys can did something to the sides to make it look kind of weird, or I don't know. That did just not make any sense to me at all. That whole that little part of that whole fight, it just was.
I'll tell you what you did miss, Tusk. You missed Ben wearing his freaking Anakin Skywalker pod racing helmet on the last episode.
That's cool.
I have it over here. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, you got to see it. It's nice.
Oh snap! I'm gonna have to go bring out my stuff, man. I'm gonna have to show my toys too.
Show and tell up in this bitch. We gotta wait. When he gets back, we're gonna talk about Quinlan Vos, because that gets referenced when they go to the.
Okay. All right. Well, this is.
Oh.
All right. There we go.
That's the cool one,
dude. Right. So he wore that on the last episode,
and
right off the bat, someone in the chat goes, "I fucking hate Anakin Skywalker." I was like, I don't. I'm with Ben down there. I'm good with it.
It looks cool.
Yeah. Hey, one of the best scenes, man. I love those pod racing scenes. Come on,
pod racing. Oh my god, just the noises. If I was blind and I could just hear the noises, like that's.
If you know anything about racing, how intense that is, dude. They're just like hovering. Like, I always wondered, is there any kind of canon or any kind of information that tells us how fast they were going?
Too
Enough to
fast.
die on impact. Fast
That
enough.
dude, it seemed like
Well,
like
it was designed so it's like you had to have fast reflexes because that's why only the force Anakin could do it because he's force sensitive, and the aliens could do it. So it was like they had a way to have a fast reaction. So it was designed like a humanoid couldn't do it. Basically, is what they established.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
right.
It has to be so fast like a humanoid could not actually do it, and Anakin was like the only one that was able to do it.
Well, that comes right here to except Sabuba. He failed though, but Sabuba. Nice. What's your opinion on
Poodoo.
Voss being the name he finds on the wall? So the next part is, they take him to the underground. I don't know exactly what you call it, underground, where they kind of smuggle the younglings. And while they're there, Obi-Wan sees some inscription on the wall that Quinlan Vos had wrote. And we all know, and for all you don't know, Quinlan Vos is one of the Jedi Masters that actually sees the Empire fall. So he's around for a while. So we'll go around and we'll start with Tusk. Animal Mother Cuss says, "Nice. What's your opinion on Voss being the name he finds on the wall?"
I don't know. They could have had a 900 number on the side of the wall and could have read it off, and it would have added something to the storyline. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, some of that stuff they're just throwing stuff in there to me, but
Well, I recognize the character. I've seen, read a book with the that he was one of the main characters. And then also I've seen him in Clone Wars, but for some reason I thought he had died before this point, so I was kind of surprised to hear that he was still alive. So I'm not sure where I thought that he had died before, but I might have to look back into that.
Yeah, there is canon that supports him being one of the only Jedi that lives to see the Empire fall. Go ahead, Ben.
I hope they don't get Jason Momoa to play him. Because I know that's what they're thinking. I know it.
They're gonna have the Rock. They're gonna have the Rock in there or something.
Oh,
Rock.
God. Actually, you know what? I think that would add to Star Wars quite a bit because, like, The Rock isn't a great actor, but we'll watch him anyways. Kind of like Arnold,
Yeah,
He's not terrific, but we'll watch it. But like
Now,
him in Star Wars is amazing. I could just see it.
If they do it that way, they should like totally mess it up on purpose, and I would watch it just for that. You know what I mean? Like totally go over the board, like have him do like the eye all the time, like just walk around looking like he's like paralyzed with the eye like that. That'd be amazing.
Smell.
Can you smell what the Sith is cooking? He could walk. He can get some good taglines. He can do the peck pop of love. Shoot like bullets out, and they can shoot him. Like, I mean, the things they can do with him are endless. So.
I hope we answered your question well, Animal Mother Customs. Ben drops the ball. I hope they don't make freaking Jason Momoa.
It's just, like anytime you got a character that looks like that, you know exactly what the producers and directors are thinking. They're like, hey, do you think we could get Jason Momoa to do it? And the answer is yes. Like, yeah, you can. It's probably not even that hard. He was born to play those people. So, you get like Conan the Barbarian, Aquaman, and then Quinlan Vos, and he'll retire healthy and happy.
I'm saying if Disney were to ever put John Cena up in the Star Wars canon, I might really have to jump onto the freaking dark side right there, bro. That might finish it off for me. No John Cena, please.
John Cena would be awesome, man.
No, sir.
I love a droid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make him a dumbass droid, okay? Because I didn't mind him wrestling, not much, but man, I just don't like his acting, bro.
You don't like his acting? I think he's pretty. I think he's pretty good. I actually I prefer him over The Rock now. Actually,
he plays decent in comedies, but dude, when I watched the freaking Suicide Squad, the second one, I'm like, he was killing me, dude. I was
you didn't like that, dude?
No,
I thought he was great in that movie.
Oh my god, no. So anyway, I love it. See that? We don't agree on everything, but this is a good topic right here because we got some other stuff to go. But Mace Windu would have been cool. I have been wondering if we might see him in some form or fashion in any of this because I thought I heard rumors of them possibly doing season 2 of Obi-Wan.
I hope they don't do him. Be honest with you,
And
because
why
that's
is
like
that?
because that's the whole point, man. Like you're supposed to like see him kill the his basically mentors, and like he kills one of them, one of the Jedi Council, and that's where he becomes the Anakin that we love to hate. And I really hope they don't bring him back. You know what I mean? I like to see him dead. You don't need to bring back every character that's ever
Well,
died in every Star Wars
spoilers.
movies. You know what I mean?
Mace Windu isn't dead,
He better leave him off of the show.
but yeah,
Is he
he's
dead?
not dead.
He's
No,
not.
no. I
He
have to go.
survived that.
I'm going to talk. I'm going to find out about that and talk about it on the next show. But I have heard and seen media that there's some stories of him still being alive.
Huh.
Well, you bring back Darth Maul. I mean, well, you can bring back anybody. Bring him back as half Spider-Man or whatever he is when he's got all them legs and shit. So,
And who
but
could
it's like,
forget somehow Emperor Palpatine returned.
oh, he'll always return.
You just
It
got
ain't
to
him.
put that word somehow. He's back. And it's
Okay.
good after that. It's good.
We
What's
don't
up,
know how it happened.
Big Stan, we see you. We saw you jump in earlier. We hear you now, bro. What's up? So we're coming up to the end of this, and everybody wants to talk about the Vader fight, and that's the big deal. So we see him walking through the streets of. Do we know what town that is?
The flea market.
The flea market going once, twice. Okay. So we see him walking through here, and he's just randomly killing people. All right. So, does that surprise you, or did that kind of be like, Ben, I see you thinking. What do you think?
I mean, that just seems like right up Vader's alley to just go down and start slaughtering people. He never second thought it before, like this is nothing new for him. And he's trying to find out information. He's trying to scare the shit out of the town. So this is probably nothing new for him.
Okay. Yep. I thought the same thing. You guys think the same? Ramrod?
Yeah, it's not something I had expected to see, but once he was doing it, I was like, well, I can't be surprised. I mean, it is Darth Vader, so he is, within, deep in the dark side right now. So, yeah, not too surprised.
Tusk. Come on.
I wanted to see more.
Right. So, okay. So before we get to the fight, anything stick out in your guys' head about the appearance of Darth Vader, the way he looked in his suit, or anything like that, Ramrod?
I mean, I think it looked cool. I mean, they had the suit, spot on. One thing I wanted to point out was James Earl Jones is credited with the voice, but
I was going to go there too with that.
it says in the credits, voice conversion services provided by Respeecher. I'm not real familiar with that, but it was implied that they may have used that in Vader's voice. So if you guys know a little bit more about that, I'd like to hear it.
Actually, we'll go ahead and research that out for the next one because that's a good point. And what's up, Curtis Schultz? Curtis Schultz is here. What up?
Actually, you need to address that now because he's absolutely correct. What they use is they use an AI engine and it combined Christian's voice with particles of James Earl Jones, and that's why his voice sounds younger. So if you go and listen to that, go listen to it again. Listen to how his voice sounds in the show compared to Rogue One. There's a huge difference, but the delivery is the same. That's why you can hear certain words that Hayden's, like how he says certain words, and where James Earl Jones says it, the way he says them. It's a combination of both. But yeah, they used an AI engine for it, which I didn't know until watching the episode. And then even Bub said, "Hey, his voice sounds way younger than what it did on Rogue One." And then I went and looked at some things, and I was like, he's doggone right. I didn't know they were going to use AI for his vocals, and they did. So
yeah, and I noticed that his speech sounded younger and smoother, and I was wondering about that, but I didn't put it together.
Yeah, that's what they did. They did a combination. They had him both of them read certain lines and they did a combination, which is really weird how they're able to deep fake AI voice and voice technology and facial technology nowadays. It's pretty
They're,
amazing.
they're deep faking me right now. I'm not really here, bro.
I believe that.
Oh my god, man. But so what do you think they did that for? Just so he'd sound younger? Okay, actually the question I want to ask is, do you feel it's necessary? I understand that you're trying to set the time back. Okay, let's make everybody kind of how they should be during then, but I don't feel it was necessary. I don't feel
Uh,
like you needed to do
I
that
kind of do. Kind of think they did that, and they
unless
made
he's
Mark.
sick, unless he's sick or something, or
Well,
he's
they had Mark Hamill do it too. Mark Hamill had to recently, like before they started doing the Book of Boba Fett, they had to do. He had to sign basically over like his voice rights and something else like of the infliction of Luke Skywalker, and that's what they did with the Book of Boba Fett too. They did the exact same thing. They took his new vocals and his old from the old dialogue and they
right.
combined them. So they used the same AI bot to do that, and so you get a younger sounding Luke. And yeah, I think what they're doing is they're setting it up so if something does happen, because James Earl Jones is what 91, right? Is he 91? So if they have something happen to him, they can use his voice from here to whenever to whatever. They can put it on rides. They can put it anywhere they need to put it. And they're holding that, banking that Christian's going to be around for another 60, 40, whatever years to be able to take that, you know what I mean? Carry on that torch. And I think that's what the plan is. There's bigger plans, you know what I mean? They spend that kind of money for bigger plans to add it to certain things, whether it's toys, games, or any kind of IP marketing. I mean, it's bigger than just the show,
Yeah,
No,
Red Room Diecast. Go ahead.
I thought I might be a little bit conflicted about that, but on one hand, it seems like it's fake, but on the other hand, hey, we want this character to, we want to keep using this character and keep creating stories. And if the actor, can't do it anymore for one reason or another, um, if they were, I don't know how the contract is set up, but if he was to get royalties for them using his voice in that manner, then I think I would be okay with it.
Yeah, and I think that's why some of those guys went ahead and signed on for it, is because they knew that one, they would be taken care of. They're not going to have to really worry about it for the rest of their lives. Whatever's going to happen. Maybe they signed it off to a legacy too. They put it into like their an estate where it just keeps rolling into it, and that's something for their family in the future, or their wives or grandchildren. So I think that's helpful. And Red Room says it adds a bit of authenticity in this character, which I think it does too. I think I do. If they got like the guy who does Vader from the games or from some of the other shows, would that be the same? Obviously not. It wouldn't sound the same. You would tell. So with it having that AI of James Earl Jones, I think it added a lot to it. I'm glad they stuck with him. I'm glad they actually stuck with the original voice actor to achieve that. I really am.
What's up, Cobra Viper? Cobra Viper's here. He's always got some good thoughts on some of this. So hopefully we'll hear some of what he has to say. So, all right. So we're going to talk about the end, and we'll start with Ramrod. We're going to talk about the fight scene. All right. So this is no holds barred. Say what you want. Do what you want. Do it.
What I want to start out with is because I went to the scene in A New Hope, and because I wanted to listen to what the first sentence was, that exact phrase comment that he made, and he said, we meet again at last. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Now, I've always assumed that meant that battle in episode 3. Revenge of the Sith was their last meeting. I think they are stretching the bounds of canon by doing what they did, but he clearly didn't say when we last met, or I was the learner. It was when I left you, I was the learner. So we're eking by here on the canon, breaking canon here, but I'll just reserve my overall opinion about whether they're breaking canon yet till the end of the season and see where we are. But other than that, I thought the fight went as expected. A lot of people, I didn't watch the videos, but I saw, some comments where people were, saying that Obi-Wan was a coward or something like that. Well, my opinion, he is 10 years out of practice. He has lost his faith, and lost his confidence. And in the moment, I think that he realized I'm no match for Darth Vader, and my goal was to get him away from Leia. Now that I've done that, I need to get out of here. So I don't think it was cowardice. I just think it was being practical.
Ben, what do you think? We think we'll get to some of the comments in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, the fight went down pretty much how I thought. And I mean, like, you're right. In A New Hope, he says, like, I was the learner. Maybe this isn't the last time we see, like, Obi-Wan and Vader fight. I'm thinking, like, maybe they fight again and, like, Obi-Wan possibly whoops his ass. And then they could still technically, like, keep that line as canon if Vader loses the next fight. But he would have to lose the next fight. But I thought it was kind of cool. The lightsaber battles. Hold on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I got this pop up. Can you see me fine?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
I can see you.
Okay, but anyways, I was gonna say, I think it's kind of interesting that they show us how like lightsaber dueling has changed since like Revenge of the Sith. We're just flying everywhere, and like we see kind of that newer like episode 4, 5, and 6 style lightsaber fights. With Obi-Wan and Vader fighting, it basically shows how like two old guys go at it. I don't say that disrespectfully, but we kind of see how like, because everybody's seen the lightsaber battle in A New Hope and been like, man, like Obi-Wan, Darth Vader compared to like the lightsaber battles they're having in like Attack of the Clones. That's crazy. But I think it was interesting. Only thing I thought was kind of weird is, again, like the cinematography during the fight and like where they are. I almost felt like it was almost like a fan film. Like it wasn't quite Disney, but like it very much felt like a fan film of like someone just like walking with a camera and following these two people while they start fighting. I thought
I've seen fan film shot better than that scene.
Yeah, it was just kind of, it was weird. It was very weird. And like, after like this third episode, I just kind of started thinking like what they've like put money into and made look very good. Like, Han Solo and Rogue One, like those are awesome looking movies. Like, say what you want about the movie, but they look amazing. And so does episode like 7, 8, and 9. Like those look amazing cinematography wise. But I thought it was kind of weird that we see like this fight between Vader and Obi-Wan, and I don't feel like they put a lot of time into like editing it or filming it or any of that stuff, or like the set they're on Tatooine, how much can you do with the desert? But like it kind of, I mean, I've seen places in Oklahoma look like that.
Yeah.
That looked like just your ordinary like Obi-Wan and Kenobi and Darth Vader at a rail yard, basically like the outsiders, and they're about to like duel. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird, but I like the fight. I like how it went down. I mean, they nailed that. I just thought they kind of made it look cheap.
Right. Before you go, Tusk, Cobra Viper says Obi-Wan was cowardice, like they made Luke Jet Air weaklings. He's definitely made out to look like that. He's going through a pretty rough time right now, and he's going to have to man up pretty soon to actually survive. So, I don't know. I just kind of put myself in his boots, and I know that there's a lot of social agenda that pushes men to look weak now, and I get that, but I just kind of feel like we all knew during this time that Obi-Wan was beaten and broken. We knew that before this series happened because there were comics that talked about it. Yeah. We all knew it, so we're just seeing it on the screen. You know what I mean? That's just the way I feel. Let's see, make sure before I know Tusk is going to go for a while, so let me just catch up, sir.
Not for a while, maybe for a little bit.
Okay. Yes. So, and I did, like Cobra Viper says, the battle was weak at best. I did think it lacked a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Don't know if there's going to be a reason for that later. Like I said, I'm not passing any review on whether I think I like this series or not till it's done. We're just talking about it as we go. Maybe it gets where it needs to be. I don't know. But for right now, we're just talking and feeling how we go about it. So go ahead, Tusk.
Cobra even says, like he said, he made it be weak. He thought it was like it needed to be more aggressive. I have to agree with that. And Red Room also said, he says, wouldn't you think he had to keep up with his training to protect Luke? It seemed kind of odd. And that's what I'm gonna say too. That's what I thought. It's like, okay, he's there to protect Luke, chill and make sure he's all right. But none of that time he was keeping in with like training and stuff like that, keeping even when he's got work to do.
Tusk, I
You know
got a
what I mean?
question while you're talking
Yeah.
about that. If he keeps up with his training, he's going to be force visible. So what do you do?
It
then?
don't mean he got to be cutting fish and feeding it to his donkey camel, and just
Seriously,
like
how do you hide from everybody when you can't use the force? So how do you
he can
train
still
somebody?
be sort of. He can still get his lightsaber out and practice with that. He don't need to be like. I mean, come on, man.
The way they make it.
All right,
sound,
so check this out. So
hold on.
you're telling me. Hold on, wait a second. You're telling me
asking you,
Obi-Wan.
the way they make it sound in this series, I'm not saying it's true. When he if he just pulls out his lightsaber, he's fucking found. And that, to me, it's fucked up, but that's what they're making it sound like.
He could have been training with a stick. Come on, go get you a stick. He knew how to. He can go get something.
No, but he won't even pull it. He won't even use it because they're making it sound like he's going to be found if he does.
Shenanigans. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And we know the Jawas. The Jawas are loudmouths, dude.
No.
Yeah, dude. They trade anything for everybody. You know what I mean?
Chatterboxes.
You got a
If
point
one
to
whips
make.
out his lightsaber, a Jawa will see it, and he'll tell the other Jawas, and then the Jawas will tell the Empire in exchange for like 5 shekels or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, yo, guys, go get me a long stick," and he can train with a stick. But how did he end up with the Jedi training module and all that good stuff later on? And when he's old as heck, they come to him. He's like, he just goes, I guess I gotta. Well, let's jump out of my depends here, get on this spaceship with this boy, and let's go fight the strongest evil in the world. He's gonna do that when he's like 80, 90 years old, but whenever he's younger, he's not gonna like get out there in the streets. Come on, man.
So what I'm asking is there a way? Cobra Viper says, if I could use the Force, I would use it in secret. All right. So is there a way to use the Force in secret when you have the Inquisitors and Vader and the Emperor? Is there a way? Is there a canon that suggests this?
Oh, well, there's obviously a way, because that's why the Jedi that's why they're searching for the Jedi. They're not searching because of the Force. They're searching because of signals, because they're able to hide and go. That's so like in that first 2 episodes, when you see the other Jedi that comes around, he ends up using it. They can't tell it, right? They can't automatically tell it. They just know someone's there because obviously someone had put him up in a room and let him stay there because they heard stories. They could not see it, basically.
Right. But my point is what they're making it look like on this show. That's what they're making it look like. And like Red Room Diecast says right here. But if that's the case, Snoke could have easily found Luke when he was training Rey.
Let's not even talk about Snoke, because Snoke ain't real, bro. He's a clone.
That's what I'm trying to say here, Tuss. That's what I'm trying to put your point. They're making it seem like this.
Well,
correct?
Luke,
in the show.
In the sequels, Luke spent that whole time not using the Force. It was only that short period of time where he was training Rey that he started to use the Force again. And and the Emperor sensed Luke Skywalker growing stronger in Empire Strikes Back. So that they can sense that kind of thing.
I only think it's, to me, this is just me thinking, I think it's at a certain level. Because if he could really fill out everybody, he would have like already captured all the Jedi, all the Padawans, everywhere, if they're Force sensitive at all. So I think the theory kind of is behind, like, maybe he can film to get to a certain point level or whatever, which brings up another point. If like, so when Darth Vader's walking down the flea market area and he's cracking necks and splitting wigs in that one scene, you would think I already know he's right there. I don't need to do this. I can just walk right to that point, right?
But at that point, he's not using the Force. He can kind of sense that he's there, but unless he like actually does something to use the Force to try to stop him, could you pinpoint him?
Exactly. So if he's not using a force, right? So if he's not actually using a force, he could still. I mean, you don't have to be using the force at full force. You know what I'm saying? At that level, that's all I'm saying. Because if he's only sensitive to a certain amount, you know, and then maybe also the suit's blinding him somewhat. You know, that's also a good point too. Like the suit, like he doesn't have full control of it because like his suit is actually, you know, pushing him in another direction basically. I mean,
Right.
there's all kinds of theories about that too.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, that's all you guys basically to hash out what you think. I'll put a little bit in, but I'm just telling you from a perspective of what I'm being shown. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I was trying to think about this when we first saw this, and I saw Obi-Wan using a blaster. I'm like, Jedi didn't use blasters, and I was thinking to myself, did they use them in Clone Wars? I'm thinking, no, Jedi didn't use blasters, correct?
I think in the Clone Wars, the cartoon, they probably use blasters.
Well, I mean, Obi-Wan used a blaster on Grievous.
Okay.
In the
Yeah,
aftermath.
that's right. Yeah.
That's when he. Is that
And
when he
Obi-Wan always thought. I mean, his whole thing was like he always thought the guns, you know, the blasters were uncivilized. Like he preferred using his lightsaber over anything.
Right. But when he's trying to stay hidden, people, see somebody with a blaster, hey, that's something you see every day. When somebody sees somebody with a lightsaber, that's when people start, running toward the Empire saying, hey, give me some money because I know where this Jedi is.
Yeah.
I'm watching the fight scene right now, and the way Vader hits Obi-Wan, there's some pretty hysterical moments.
I
'Cause,
wanted.
like, Obi-Wan looks like he's about to crap himself.
I wanted to know why he kept using one arm. We talked about that a little bit before we started. Why it just seemed odd to me that Vader's only using one arm to fight with his lightsaber.
Well, I don't think he's fully into it. I think that he knows he's outmatched Obi-Wan, and he's just
Toying with him?
prolonging it.
I think that's how he fights in Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken, too. Whenever he comes into the corridor, isn't he like choke slamming those guys with the Force while like slaying the rest of them with his lightsaber?
Yeah, I know that there's a novel I read that came out right after, or there was a novel set right after Revenge of the Sith, and he described how he had to change his whole fighting style because of the suit. So where he had to make stronger swings, and because he couldn't move as fast. So I mean, he did have to change his fighting style. I know that's part of it, but I seem to remember, him using, two-fisting his lightsaber at some point or another. So I don't know how often that is, but I know he does a lot of times use just one hand.
I got a question. How come every time someone fights Darth Vader, there's always something that causes space gas to fly in his face and he can't see? What's up with that?
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Like there's a pipe over top, space gas. Can't see now.
Space gas.
Him and
Hey, it's true though. Go back and watch the scenes, man.
Sounds like
It's true.
Sound like a sequel to Spaceballs. It could be Space Gas.
Yes, yeah.
Shit. Yeah, but when I saw it, Ramrod, I thought that he was just kind of toying with him, like he didn't need to use his full strength. But I just thought, look, that's what I thought when I saw it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I think that he knew he had him beat. He was just just prolonging it, savoring it.
And by the way, at this point in time with Darth Vader, wouldn't you think after being burnt up like a hot dog, he would have a fire retardant suit so he can walk over those flames? I'm just saying, it seems kind of practical to me.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
I would
Like
have thought he could just walk over it and doesn't
Yeah, he
know-
could just walk over him, right? Like I'm fireproof. I got a fireproof suit on. Yeah, they're definitely fighting in a like they rented out like a coral or some kind of gravel area, and they
Or
like
something.
yeah, quarry. They're like, hey, leave all the lights on for a second. We're gonna shoot this last scene here.
Yeah,
So
I know that. You know, I don't know if they're trying to represent all different kinds of worlds. You know, in this series. You know, with the Tatooine and the cantinas, the cities there, plus the desert. You know, it's not high technology, and this is just another version of a low technology area or what. But I mean, the previous episodes were in a like a mega city, so maybe they're just trying to show all the different kinds of worlds.
did y'all have any other bullet points you wanted to go over? I think that basically covers the fight.
What did everybody think about that robot about to bash that freaking guy's head in? That was crazy.
That was pretty cool. I actually kind of like that.
To
Yeah.
happen.
That robot's terrifying, dude. The way he was gripping that hammer, like that is not good.
He's like Leatherface with that hammer.
I want a series made about that robot.
Yeah.
What? Okay, wait, hold on.
Disney?
Wait a second, dude. Think about this. Imagine where he was at, right? There was robot body parts hung up everywhere, right? Dude, what if he likes to kill other robots and string them up? He is the Leatherface of Star Wars.
I mean, probably. Like,
think about where he was at for real.
Yeah,
there was like heads and like body parts, and they were strung out, and wires were strung everywhere. And like, he could be a freak. He could be a freaky robot, man.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
I'm excited to get the toy for him, no matter what. I was like, man, that's a cool looking robot. Like, guys, I could only have so many old guys in ropes, but robots,
I'm the same way.
Robots,
yeah. Droids. I like the droids more than I do actually. It's the face characters.
Now, if he were to, reshape his body into that of a, hovercraft, that would be cool.
or like part of them would turn into like the hovercraft area. Yeah, kind of like they have like some of those astromechs do. Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, him and a couple other robots would mogrify and merge into a hovercraft,
like a Star Wars Voltron, and then just like take off.
I thought it was cool how they made it. They made sure that everyone knew that he couldn't speak, but they also said that basically all he knew how to do was load. So he was obviously altered some way because he knew that he would have to attack the guy. You know what I mean? So he was, you know what I mean? So that he was an altered robot.
There's something more to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool though. I really did. I thought that was pretty neat.
I wanted to see him smash his head with the hammer. That's what I was waiting for.
That guy would have got destroyed. Like, that was a big old hammer.
Yeah.
Like, dude, every time I see a stormtrooper go down, I'm like, that's awesome. I don't know why. I just like to see them go down because I think they're weak.
I mean, they went down from Ewoks throwing rocks at them. So
come on, yeah. Their armor's not that great.
Hey, the strongest empire in the world with the most, with the strongest Sith badasses, and they got the weakest fucking troops. It's like, what's up with that?
Well, I always think about the scene from The Mandalorian, where the armor is like beating all those stormtroopers, and their armor is just cracking like it's plastic. And she's hitting them with like tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Chunks of their armor is flying off in the room. You're like, oh God.
Yeah.
They don't give them anything to work with out there.
All right. So we end this episode with whatever her name is, Reva tracking down Leia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it ends. So I don't have anything to go else on that, but one more question. So if you guys anything else you want to add it now, because I got one last question before we go on.
I was going to add something. This is going back to other episodes, but I'm one thing I didn't was on your guys' first episode or their first show about the actual first two episodes, but I'm actually glad that they brought back some of the original actors, especially Owen. That was really cool to see. And I'm going to be honest with you, the Owen actor was probably the best actor I've seen in this whole show. Like for even like his dialogue, the way he's, delivery and the way his scenes were shot, I think he was the best actor for me. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
I don't even know that guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we touched base on that. That is one thing that they've done well. They brought back some OGs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Smits, all them. Yeah.
Man, he looked old he looked old though. Like,
yeah, I had to double check, make sure
I was like, man,
actually him.
Because even in Rogue One, he didn't look that old. You know what I mean? But he looked old.
All right. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen in episode 4? And then that's going to be it for the night.
How many episodes they got left of this?
We have 6. So we'll have
Out there.
3 more. So Ramrod, I haven't really thought about it much, but I thought it might be good for conversation and what it might stir up. What do you think might happen on the next episode? Or
I don't know, predictions. I don't know, maybe Reva captures Leia, and then Obi-Wan has to, and his new ally there has to go rescue her or something. I'm not certain, because it looked like the pilot was dead. So
right.
I don't think Leia could fly a starfighter or starship yet. So I don't think she's going to get out of there by herself. So it'd be interesting to find out what happens, because it sure looks like Reva's going to capture her there.
They're supposed to be every Wednesday, right? From here on out.
I think so.
Okay, because I don't know what this means, but Curtis Schultz says 3 episodes in 1 week. I think he means they did 1 or 2 and they did Wednesday. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ben and Tusk, what do you guys think might happen on the next episode?
I didn't have an idea, but after Tusk said his Disney theory, I think the third sister starts to talk to Leia, and then maybe realizes that if Vader gets a hold of Leia, he's probably gonna kill her, and that doesn't sit right with her, because she's like, well, I was a little kid once and I got almost murdered. So maybe she starts to have second thoughts. I think we're gonna see a lot of character development between Leia and her in the next episode. At least I hope so.
Right.
I think he's right. I think if they're gonna do a turning point, it would be now, and then you'd only have 2 or whatever, like you said, the other 2 episodes to kind of flesh that part out. I think that's the turning point. I think that would be the turning point too. If my idea is correct, I think if they're going to do it. Don't you
think we're at a turning point? Something needs to happen. It's kind of slow.
Yeah, it's got to happen. Yeah, dude, it's got to happen, because if it does not happen, their numbers are going to drop for real. And I know they have a lot of views right now, because the Boba Fett show didn't do very well. They try to do a little bit too much, with their story, and it did okay. But these numbers, the first 2 were off the charts apparently. But yeah, they have to do something, because you're not going to engage. There's such a wide split between old school fans and new school fans, or just Star Wars fans in general, and we'll see. I like to see what happens.
That's what I think too. But hey, you heard Tuss say it earlier. You heard what he thinks the plot hole is going to be. So
that'd be crazy if it was right.
Yep.
But
so I'm going to have to go back and see what minute it was, and maybe make a little video of it in case it's right. Boom, and show it. Dude, he was right. You some bitches. There it was. So next, we're going to be back this Thursday. Seeing how we all thought it was going to be every Friday, so we did them on Sundays. So the next, we're going to talk about episode 4 this coming Thursday night, same time, 8:05. So, and we'll talk to y'all then. So, anybody else have anything to add? Not, we're going to get out.
All right.
I was going to say, we just get yourself some of that Galactic Empire music. If you guys want some good metal Star Wars songs, Galactic Empire, Spotify, YouTube, good stuff.
Oh, I do.
Great live band. They're a great live band too. I've seen them live multiple times.
Oh, I do want to throw some beef around. Tusk is the only man that I know that eats as long as I do. I think you were eating for 45 minutes of the show, dude.
Hey, I'm slow rolling it, bro. This is only 4 pieces. I got there's 3. I only had 4 pieces in there. There's literally 2.5 pieces left.
Dude, when I eat, I sit down for a while. I'm just like, man, I'm here. This is my place, my time. So every show we do, he eats, man. He eats.
Not necessarily, man. The last few times I've been working so late that I've been having to eat later. Yeah. Today was a busy day, man. I went to a lot of places today, and that kind of got away from me. But yeah, had to clean up in here.
We'll see, y'all.